everybody, it's Wallguy. Meowth and I hope that you've enjoyed our launch party so far. We've been bringing you tons of footage, as you know, if you hadn't noticed, and we'll have more tomorrow. And it doesn't end there. We'll continue to cover Warfighter heavily. It should be the centerpiece of our channel now, unless something changes. We'll still cover our other games as well, just not to the extent that we used to. So make sure, if you like Warfighter, to stick around, because we'll be doing coverage for some time to come. Don't forget, you can also follow us on Twitter for all the latest developments. We often post there, and so if you're interested in keeping up with the latest, that's Wallguy and Meowth, then go ahead and follow us on Twitter and hang around. Alright, well, a funny thing about doing this huge launch party with all this coverage is that well, ironically, we don't get to play the game a whole lot. Really, Meowth and I have only had a chance to put in about an hour and a half each, if that. So we haven't put a lot of time in yet. A lot of what you've seen us put up footage-wise is what we've played. We haven't gotten to dig too deep into it yet. So we're looking to really push forward and dig deeper into it in the next week or so. But don't worry, the footage will continue in a large volume throughout the week and beyond, so hang around and enjoy that. By the way, just for reference, the map I'm on here is Novigrad Warzone. Looks pretty cool. This is a huge building that's on fire. I took a look at it as I started this round and looked up, and all around it's pretty cool to have this fire going on, the orange glow that goes on the map. It's pretty nice to look at. I'll also say that this was several games in after the second game you saw me play in my other video, and I started to get more used to it, and I'm doing better. And this is team assault, so I don't have the worry of trying to take the sectors when my team won't come after it with me, and I've got to take it by myself, and those sectors take a while to grab by yourself, so that's a long time to live when your team isn't helping you out. But I'm here on team assault, and I'm doing much better as a result of that burden being lifted off of me and being a little bit more used to the controls. Okay, down to business. A lot of you have been asking for our detailed impressions of the game so far. We've been giving them out in bits during our other videos, but that was live, and sometimes you can't really construct your thoughts as nicely when you're live, so I thought I'd put this together and tell you what we're thinking so far. Now, like, remember, I said I haven't played the game a lot. We're looking at an hour and a half, maybe 2 hours of gameplay so far, but I've spent that on sector control and team assault, and I'd say overall, so far, I'm pretty happy with things. But of course, no game is perfect, especially at launch, and this game has some faults that go along with the good side of it. So I thought I'd go over them, and I'll probably focus more on the faults. Don't think that this game is just a terrible mess because I'm talking about a lot of faults. It's just the faults are more important right now because we'd love to see them fixed at some point. And like, you focus on the faults and get them cleared up, and suddenly you have an amazing game instead of just a really good game. So the first fault I want to focus on is the gunplay. I think, personally, that it's a little clunky and sloppy compared to Medal of Honor 2010. Personally, to me, even though I don't have a lot of experience with Battlefield 3, this feels comparable to Battlefield 3 as far as the gunplay. And a lot of people like the Battlefield 3 gunplay. I don't personally like it that much. I think it's they attempt too much realism and shoot themselves in the foot, basically, and miss out on some of the fun because they're trying so hard for realism. For instance, the recoil in Battlefield 3 is just a little bit over the top, and when you fire the gun on full auto or whatever, you get quite a bit of recoil and shake in every direction. You got the left pull, the right pull, and of course the vertical recoil, and the gun's just jumping all over the place. Now, yeah, you hold a gun in real life and you fire full auto, it's gonna shake, whatever. But this is a video game. You want to play it and not worry so much about some of the less fun things about firing a gun in real life. And further to that point, I'm supposed to be a tier 1 warfighter, alright? I've been using these guns for years. I'm a pro. I'm the best of the best. I can hold that thing steady and get a really clean, quick kill at 20 yards. I guarantee it. So they went overboard on that. I'd like to see them clean it up. And a further curiosity about that is it seems like The accuracy is actually kind of on point. You fire the gun, you can get the kill if you hold it, you know, center on the target. But at the same time, visually, the gun is jumping all over the place with like seemingly more recoil than you're actually getting in reality. So as far as gunplay is concerned, a little bit more Medal of Honor 2010 and a bit less Battlefield 3. Thank you. The menus are horrendous. They said they fixed them in the patch. Yeah, right. They still fundamentally do not understand what menu design should be. It's a mess. It's way overcomplicated. It needs to be better organized, easier to use. Right now, it's a total mess. You can get lost in there. I mean, I can't even find a way to exit the game when I'm running the game through the menus and not battle log it. I haven't found it yet. It's a mess. There's also a terrible problem with voice over IP bleed through. Like, even if you don't want it there, it seems to come in there and you got to listen to the, you know, 3 or 4 random people talking to each other out of sync because they're not necessarily talking to each other. And it's just a mess, and nobody wants to sit there and hear that when they're trying to play a game. Fix the voice over IP, and for fuck's sake, give me an off switch if I don't want to use it or hear it. That would be an off switch that works, in case you were wondering. Non-combat zones. Now, I've only seen these on sector control so far, but basically what it is a boundary around the area where the enemy spawns. You can't go in there. It's supposed to prevent spawn camping, but that's just something that you fundamentally cannot do in an FPS. You will never stop spawn camping because, think of it, okay, they can't go in the spawn, but they can stand on that yellow or the invisible yellow line that is drawn right in front of the spawns and camp that spot so people can't get out of their spawns that way. You can never fully prevent spawn camping. It's impossible. But now you have these non-combat zones where people will spawn and they can run around for quite a while in there and not show themselves to the enemy, and eventually come out in some place, maybe try to flank their way around and get out where they think it's safe. But what happens because of this? The gameplay slows way down because I don't know if the game developers realize this, but most players are very timid, and that's why they get spawn camped in the first place. They spawn, they sit in their spawn, and they timidly look around, and a good player is going to take advantage of that and just kill people over and over again. When you spawn, you're supposed to immediately head out, attack the objective, or attack the other team, and that's how it's supposed to flow. People don't do that because they're timid. That's why they get spawn camped. And furthermore, I've seen on some of these levels that they can actually hide in their non-combat zone and peek over walls and stuff like that and shoot people that are in the main area of play from their non-combat zone, and then just duck out of the way and just stay there safely, not having to worry about getting shot from behind or the side or anything like that. It's really cheap and lame, and a lot of players are going to pick up and do that because they're timid and they're scared and they're afraid of dying in a video game. Remove these non-combat zones altogether. They're just no good. It's bad game design. Whoever came up with that idea, they had the wrong intentions because they don't fundamentally understand good gameplay. They're probably not a very good player themselves, and they're just looking to protect the weak guy. Weak guys need to become better at video games, not be coddled and say, it's okay, it's okay. In fact, that same game design mentality and concept has bled over to some of the other flaws as well. So one of you guys in the development team are responsible for some serious issues here. And we need to weed that out a little bit. These other issues I'm talking about, well, they apparently, with this latest patch, decided to help teams that are getting dominated. That's right, the team that's doing bad and like earning the loss, basically, they get a Black Hawk spawn that's supposed to help them get back in the fight and come back from their deficit. But that's not how competition works. There's winners and losers. Losers lose and winners win. The team that's doing better deserves to continue to dominate. You don't hand out Scooby snacks or some kind of like super power-up to the crappy team because they're losing. They're losing, they deserve it. They need to learn how to get better so they don't lose. That's the essence of competition. And of course there's that incredibly brilliant red outline in the buddy system. I don't know what they were thinking around the dev table when they came up with this concept. They're like, oh, what do players hate more than anything when they play these games? Oh yeah, cheaters. Yeah, cheaters are terrible. We need to take care of that. How can we make this game great? Well, when someone's sucking, we'll give them a wall hack to make up for it. Yeah, bad move there. Do you even play these games, guys? Come on now. Those are my main complaints about the game so far. There's a few other minor issues that aren't that big of a deal at this point. But overall, the game is a lot of fun. It's gorgeous. Some of the buddy system stuff is very cool. The controls are good. Level variety is good. The maps are amazing. And most importantly, the game is super fun. We'll see you with more content tomorrow.